In today's video, we're going to have a look at how you can do component testing with Nightwatch.js. If you want to follow along in this video, make sure you are using the latest Nightwatch. If you don't know how to set up the latest Nightwatch, that's included in this video in a bit. We're going to start with a simple React project. As you can see, there are all the default files when you create a project. There are no components, but we'll be creating that in this video. Now we need to install Nightwatch. You do this using the npm init nightwatch command. This will ask you a few questions. We're going to need to make sure that we say yes to end-to-end tests and yes to component tests. After that, everything else will be set up for you. Let's go create our test. Let's start by creating a directory called components under our test directory. Inside there, we will create a spec file. Make sure that you end the file in JSX. Now that we have our file created, let's start by importing our component. I know it's not been created yet, but at least we can say where it's going to be. Next, we need to export our defaults for this file. Now we can start creating our tests. We need to export each component as a test. In the first case, we're going to see, since I'm going to be creating a component around a checkbox, is the checkbox unchecked? Now we need to add a test key. Inside the test key is going to be how we can access our test. If you're a Nightwatch user, you will know what browser generally means, and that's our way of controlling the browser. You will also notice we have components, and that allows us to access the components and just check a few things directly. Now let's write a simple assert to check that the component is visible inside the browser. Really simple, but it'll allow us to see that our test is failing. Now let's run the test. I've moved over to the terminal just so it's easier to view. This should show that our test has failed. Oh look, it has. It can't find our component that we are going to create now. Now we need to create our component. Let's start by creating a directory called components, and we'll store all our components in there. Then we're going to create our checkboxes component. Let's start by importing React. And by exporting our checkboxes component. This will be used in our test now. Now if we head back to the terminal and rerun our test, hopefully this time we'll see it pass. We'll even see the browser flash up for a second and then, hey presto, it worked. As you can see from the output, we have a warning. Let's go back and fix that. We are doing test-driven development after all. Let's rerun that test and see if the warning has disappeared. It has. Great. Now let's go back to our test. Let's add an assert to check that it hasn't been selected. We will need to go add an ID attribute to our input. This will help our test be able to find the element much easier. And let's rerun our tests now. As you can see at the bottom, it wasn't selected. I highlighted it there for you. Now let's add another test. In this test, we will check the checkbox, and then we will check that it has been selected. We'll follow the same pattern as we did in the test above. Let's see about running our new test. You'll load up the browser. And there we are. Both tests are now passing. Now that you have your components and your component tests, we can go back and refactor all of our tests. If you click the video over here, you can go back and watch our previous video on page objects. This will improve your maintainability of your tests. And thank you for watching this video. To make sure you don't miss future videos, please click the subscribe button now.